Well, I'm possibly the last person in this room who should be up here talking about Hineini. That's what I thought anyway, when I was asked to say a few words on the subject. After all, what awe-inspiring things have I done? I've never been in a position to start a charitable foundation or win a Nobel Peace Prize or save lives, something dramatic, newsworthy. The kind of thing that gets featured on the Making a Difference segment on World News Tonight with Brian Williams. Then again, how many of us have been able to do that sort of thing? And even if we had, who would have the hubris to actually come up here and boast about it? So I, perhaps like some of you, spend a few moments taking stock of ways in which I have possibly made a difference, even a small one. And trust me, they're small ones. To start with, I believe I've always been there for my family, for my wife and children, as they have been there for me. I like to think I've always been there for my friends as well, and business associates back in the day. I have not knowingly turned my back on anyone who has touched my life, and I guess that's something. I can point to my own small gifts and talents when I said I am here to an aging Holocaust survivor whose path first crossed mine in the late 1990s. His name, as we've just heard, was Morris Goldner. When he found out I was a writer, he asked me to write his story, an amazing saga of survival as a teenager in the forests of Poland. As he lay bleeding from a bayonet of a Gentile neighbor who had just killed his father, he was rescued by a notorious gangster turned mercenary. This lifelong criminal hid the boy in various rural hideouts and trained him in acts of sabotage against the Nazis. It was a story Goldner had never fully revealed to anyone, not even his own children, especially his own children. I spent 6 years working on that book before it was published, including making an eye-opening research trip on my own dime to places he grew up and struggled to stay alive. I can honestly say I wrote his story for the right reasons, not to make a ton of money, and a good thing I might add, but rather as a mitzvah and a tribute to that amazing man. That the book won awards was a great feeling, as was the response I got when I gave talks on his exploits around the country at schools and temples, including here at Temple Chai years back. When Mr. Gold died rather suddenly a few years ago, his daughters told me at the Shiva that my book about him gave their father a whole new lease on life in his final years. He went from hiding his past to telling everyone he could about it. And then, and I'll never forget this, they thanked me for being there for him. That's when I truly felt the power of Hineini, although I wasn't aware of the concept at the time. Truth be told, writing that book impacted my own life just as much as it did his. It made me more aware of my own Jewish roots, of the impact of history upon the present, of the unpredictability of fate, and the fragility of life. So here's the thing. As a writer, I like wordplay, and to my wife's chagrin, I'm often making wisecracks about what my grave marker might someday say. In the running for first place was, "See, I told you I was sick." But I'm rethinking that now, seriously. I'll settle for any of the following sentiments. He was a decent guy. He stepped up once in a while. He didn't shy away from saying, "Here I am," when it mattered. He never got a phone call from Brian Williams, but that's okay. In his own small way, he still made a difference.
Shabbat shalom. Yeah.